Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Sunday service of Now Creations. Every once in a while, it's just nice to pause and just to recall how wonderful we are. Right now, you have everything you're ever going to need. You have that love and goodness, intelligence and wisdom right within yourself. I just encourage you to realize how wonderfully, truly you are made, created in the very image and likeness of the divine. May you feel that goodness and joy within you throughout this day and then tomorrow as well, and then the next day. We're quite capable of doing this. Just a couple of announcements before we begin today. I want to welcome all of you, especially tomorrow evening, Monday, from 7 to 8 o'clock in our meditation. We've been working on spiritual healing, spiritual activation. I consider this to be a big step forward for Now Creations, and I warmly invite you to attend, strongly invite you to attend if you're able to do so. Tomorrow evening from 7 to 8 o'clock. Just go to study groups and scroll down to Now Creations. Scroll down to Monday meditation. And then also this evening, I'm extremely happy to say that we're going to have a wonderful presentation in our topical conversations. Doug Davis is going to be presenting a wonderful presentation on star seeds, people, souls who feel that they have come from elsewhere to bring light to the planet. I think you'll find it extremely enjoyable. And we welcome you again tonight from 6 to 7 o'clock. Just go to 6 to 7:30, Just go to our website, click on study groups, and scroll down to topical conversations. My dear friends, to say the very least, it continues to be such a joy to be able to see so many of us advance in our spiritual awareness in life, and especially to witness this advancement together. It's a rare event. It's a rare event to witness a coming together of people who are very compatible in wanting to grow in the awareness. It's a rare event. In addition to our many study groups enjoying this awareness, it was also quite evident in our spiritual activation meditation on Monday evening, last Monday, wherein there were more than 30 of us who expressed a desire to know more about not just spiritual healing, but to know more about spiritual activation. This event on Monday evening was not surprising to me because I feel that we as a group have been preparing ourselves for this type of teaching that is enabling us to truly see ourselves as spiritual beings, having human experiences. What an incredible advantage it is to view the human experience from the realm of elevated spirit, rather than sloshing around in the ups and downs of being a limited human, always wanting more, but not just knowing how to go about it. Well, no more. As we mentioned in last week's teaching, our time has come. Our time has come to fully understand ourselves as a spiritual being, presently engaged in the human experience, joyfully, happily. That's the topic of today's teaching, and for the next several Sundays will be spiritual understanding. What it means for us to experience ourselves. And notice I said to experience ourselves as spiritual beings in the human experience. I will begin today's teaching with a brief comment of acknowledgement and then proceed to the foundational teaching of what it means to be a spiritual being having this human experience. Again, you might want to take a couple of notes. First, a brief introductory comment. You personally you personally have worked diligently to come to know yourself as a spiritual being. You have worked hard in your own personal study and practices, as well as in our group study and practices. Week in and week out, you have moved forward. Please do not underestimate what you have accomplished and will accomplish. Many who had joined you along the way have since left this pathway to pursue what was necessary for them. But we have moved forward. You have not just learned new thoughts and ideas, but more than anything else, you've experienced a new sense of yourself. You've achieved a new sense of who you really are. You have come to see yourself as a conscious, spiritual being. You have risen above the grip of the body and the world, whereas others maybe have settled for the notion that we're only human. We have moved beyond this limitation, not without effort, but certainly through perseverance and so important, the mutual support that we have given and received from others, people that we have come together with like mind and like soul. And together, we now stand on that elevated podium of spiritual awareness. Whereas many others, they're still caught in the clutches of worldly entertainment, which will only end in disappointment and physical passing. You, however, are now on the precipice of a bold new adventure of bringing heaven to earth here in the material plane. I salute you. I salute you for not only having done this together, but also realizing that we have taken that step forward ourselves. And while we will continue to do it together, we also realize, quite frankly, that we will step forward individually within our own selves. Do your thing, James Webb Space Telescope out there. We are going to do our things here on the planet with a greater sense of oneness, of which each one of us is a significant part. There and here and there, there's a sense of oneness developing. We are beginning to rise above simply the human experience and bring the spiritual element into it. Speaking of oneness, let us now begin our spiritual understanding where each of us began. Very important for us to understand where each of us began, from the source itself. It is absolutely foundational to know that you are a spiritual being because that's the way you were created. You were created as a spiritual being, as an eternal soul who is now entering into a human body. Whether you prefer a more traditional view of your spiritual beginnings, such as the biblical verse, being created in the image and likeness of God, or that second creation story where the spirit breathed itself into the lump of clay. Or maybe you might prefer the thought expressed by Jim Self in the seventh layer of thought, when he says in A Course in Mastering Alchemy, the thought that thought you into existence and you are one. the thought that thought you into existence, and you are one. The fact of the matter is that our first creation from source, is spiritual awareness, just like the source itself, in whose image we are. Now, this becomes a very important point for us, especially as expressed in A Course of Miracles, and that is that you have not left your source. You have not left your source. I know that you've heard that many times, but you must come to know that you have not left your source, which means that we cannot leave the source's energy because we are of the same energy as the source. What a remarkable being we are. Moreover, quite frankly, what a remarkable being our source is, in the sense that it has made us in its image and likeness. And being in this image and likeness is the foundation of our spiritual awareness, which we are clearly experiencing daily, not only in our groups, but also individually. Whenever we just take that moment to settle down, be quiet, go within, so that we might be reminded and renourished. Not only have we not left our source, but you cannot leave your source, because we are one with the source's energy. Whether you see this being one with the source's energy over the billions of years that you have sojourned forth as a creative energy, just like our source, whether you see it from so many past years ago, or whether you just see it right now, whether you just see it right now in your current incarnation, you begin to understand that you really are a spiritual being wherever you have been in the past, whether here on the planet or off the planet. Right now, you are a spiritual being, right here, right now, consciously. You are a conscious, aware, spiritual being, no longer duped by the things of the world. Even when we recently played this game of separation, trying to go as far as we could away from our source, knowing ourselves as a spiritual being, hiding, as it were, in our body, pretending that we were taken in by the allurements of the world. Even then, we knew, or we felt, that the body and the world were not us. They just were not who we were. And now, to be able to move into that place within ourselves, no longer in separation, but now in alignment, we are truly able to understand ourselves just like our source, consciously aligned beings here in the material realms. And now more than anything else in our alignment, we've allowed the Holy Spirit to be the guide of our lives. It's like the God Spirit is leading the God presence in us consciously as a spiritual being here in the material world. Wow. Now here we go. There are 3 points to be made before we focus on some other aspects later on in our teachings. We need to take a better look at our relationship to our Creator so that we don't get lost again in our freedom. Oh, so easy to get lost in the dramas. The first point, divine companionship. Who's your best friend? Who's your best friend? Now that you've come to understand yourself as a spiritual being. Who do you wake up with? Who do you take with you to the grocery store? Who do you go to the bank with? Who do you spend more and more time with during your day? Who do you have your best and most meaningful conversations with? And what is on your mind when you fall asleep at night? I suggest that the answer to these questions is your conscious spirit relationship with your best friend, with your divine companion. It's like your spiritual energy and the divine energy are merging into a you presence. You and the divine into a you presence. You as your conscious soul spirit, the divine as the universal spirit, a you spirit. I believe that you know this at this time, and it's becoming your conscious state. You are consciously showing up in that divine presence. And may I say, to the delight not only of you, but to the delight of your family and friends who so appreciate the uplift that you continue to give them now. In this process of spiritual growth in your divine companionship, I would suggest you have learned 2 additional points or 2 additional lessons that are very important to you. The first one you know with your mind. The second one you more feel, although they both combine thought and feeling. Here's the first of these next 2 points. The first lesson is one that you've heard many times, but like many such lessons, because now that you have advanced in spirituality, in divine companionship, you're probably hearing it again, but from a different place. You be the judge. The teaching comes from A Course in Miracles and concerns the idea of a special relationship. In the Course of Miracles, a special relationship is considered to be any person, any possession, or any situation that you put before your primary relationship with the God Spirit, your divine companion, putting something ahead of your relationship to the God Spirit. For years, we thought that we understood the teaching. We thought that we knew what it meant. But most of us, when it came right down to it, most of us would probably choose our loved ones in any given situation. We understood more as an either or, not a both and. We saw it as either God or others, other than with God and with others, with God and with others. Now, here's the point. As we have spiritually merged with our divine companion, we begin to realize that everything is of God. There is not a this or that. There aren't special relationships anymore. There's nothing to get in the way of our divine companionship anymore, because we realize that everyone and everything is in the embrace of the God Spirit, that everyone and everything is a part of the oneness, and that there are no more special relationships, because now everything has become a special relationship, connecting with the God Spirit, bringing everyone and everything into the embrace of God. Do you realize what you've done? You have brought everyone and everything into the embrace of the God Spirit. You've done this. Just going to say it again. You've brought everyone and everything into the embrace of the God Spirit. You've brought everything with you into your spiritual awareness. This is marvelous. Now, because of your primary relationship with your divine companion, you treat everyone and everything the same, because you have removed the blinders of separation and have now moved into that unity consciousness where you just want to love everyone. Just as God allows his sun and rain to fall on the just and the unjust, as the Bible says. Which brings me now to the second point. Are you sitting down for this? Yeah, take a moment, sit down. You have actually moved beyond this passage in the Bible, which says God allows his sun and rain to fall on the just and the unjust, the good and the bad, because you no longer see people as just or unjust. You don't see people as good or bad. That's old third dimensional view. But rather, you see everyone as a mighty soul, making their journey in life. And you try to give them whatever assistance you're able to do so. Do not see what you are becoming. You are becoming your own Bible, your own Bhagavad Gita, your own Quran. In fact, you have become a Bible not only for yourself, but you've also become maybe the only Bible that someone will ever read for others, because you are bringing to them a spiritual way of living in the world that is at the very pivotal aspect of who they are. You and the divine companionship, you and the divine are a complete majority in life. Make no mistake, your message of spiritual oneness with the divine spirit and the way of living in this united relationship engenders such a truly saving presence in the world that everyone is looking for. You are that light because of your divine companionship. Make no mistake, you are the new heaven and you are the new earth, because you have realized that you are a spiritual being in conscious divine companionship for the greater good. Now, isn't that true? You have come to realize that you are a conscious spiritual being in divine companionship. for the common good. Wow. In conclusion, I've only begun to scratch the surface concerning the spiritual understanding that we are now ready for in future teachings. More will be on the way. But for now, just enjoy your lovely spiritual self. Let it brighten up each day, whatever the circumstance, remembering that whatever arises, love that, knowing that you and the divine are a complete majority in any situation for the delight of everyone. Namaste. Let's go into meditation, and what a joy it will be to do so. Let's begin as we normally do by simply focusing on the breath, just knowing that that's the breath of life. It's the breath that comes in our creation, not just air into the body, but prana, the life force, into our spirit. Let's begin. Again, focusing on the breath, just breathing in, breathing out, and just allowing the breath to do what it does to settle your body, reduce your mind chatter, and bring that wonderful spirit of yours into attention. Would you just say to yourself again, here I am, here I am. But this morning, there seems to be more of me. Would you place your hand over your sternum and notice that presence within you? Oh yes, here I am. Here I am. This is my soul self. But this morning, right now, right now, there is something more. I have a friend. I have a companion. Actually, I should probably say it has a friend in me. I am here because of it. It has a friend in me. In your wildest dreams, did you ever think you could truthfully say that my best friend is my divine companion? And mean it? The beauty of it all is that you have brought everything with you into this friendship. You've brought everything with you. Your immediate family and friends, spouses, kids, aunts and uncles. You brought them all in, grandkids. You've brought them all in. Your possessions, your money, your home, your cars, whatever, you just use them for the greater good. Happy that you have them, but no longer possessed by them. in every situation you're involved in. You've brought those situations in as well. Go to the supermarket. Oh, yes, these are my friends. Go to the bank, gas station. Yes, these are my friends. Even when they don't seem to be, they are. Because of you. You have brought everyone and everything along with you as you have risen. Would you just notice what you're feeling right now? You are in a conscious, elevated state of spirit, which is now becoming your conscious, everyday state. Move it forward. Move it forward. Come on. You and the divine are a complete majority.
Deep within, peace resides, faith abounds, and love abides. The light shines bright to illumine love without. you need to be within that space. I honor thee, seen through eyes of illusion, seen through spirit. We are one. I honor thee. I honor thee. I honor thee. Namaste. I honor thee. I honor thee. I honor thee. Namaste. I honor thee. Namaste. I honor
My best friend. My best friend is the energy that has brought me forth and continues to sustain me, of which I am very conscious. Namaste.